Christopher Hobbs?
Yes, I'm here, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hobbs. And do I have someone on behalf of the Rollingwood Police Department?
Yes, ma'am. How you doing, Judge?
I'm just fine. And Mr. Jones, are you a member of the police department? Are you counsel?
No, I'm an attorney for Rollingwood.
Okay. Good afternoon. All right. Mr. Hobbs, tell me what happened. What day was your vehicle towed?
The vehicle was towed on, sorry, 1 second. I have it up here.
November 22nd.
The vehicle was towed on November 22nd.
Where was it at?
Bettis Boulevard in Rollingwood.
So public street?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you present when the car was towed, or did you come back and discover it later?
When the police had arrived, we were taking a walk and then we showed up and the police were there, but the tow truck driver had not arrived yet.
So I'll say again, were you present to witness your car towed away, or did you come
Yes,
back
ma'am.
and discover it had been towed?
I was there present watching it get towed.
Where had your car been parked?
My car had been parked on the side street, unfortunately, in a no parking zone and blocking a public driveway.
So the reason it was getting towed is not a confusion.
No, ma'am.
All right. Why'd you park in no parking zone?
It was ignorance. We did not notice.
I think you just said it was labeled no parking.
It was recently labeled as a no parking zone. We'd been parking there for, about
Who are
12
you and
years
why are
as
you
long as
talking?
we lived here.
Sir,
I'm a witness. I was there.
All right, but it's Mr. Hobbs' case, right?
Yeah.
Who actually parked the car that day?
Me.
Right, and when you parked it, did you look around before you parked to see if there was signs that indicated you could park there?
No, ma'am. We had been parking there for about 12 years and it was only recently labeled a no parking zone. So
Was it labeled no parking the day on November 22nd when you got towed?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
And so you did not observe those signs that day?
No, we did not.
Though it was different than all the times previously, you didn't observe that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When you came back and saw your car getting towed, did you then observe those signs?
Yes, they were pointed out to us by Rollingwood PD.
Okay. Why do you believe your car was improperly towed if you then discovered there was a no parking zone?
We were not given a opportunity to move the car or given an opportunity to get a drop fee, which we requested both.
All right, so you arrived, you parked, you left, you came back. When you came back, your car was getting towed?
My car was getting ticketed at the time. The tow truck driver had not arrived.
All right. How long after you arrived and you got the ticket did the tow driver arrive?
10-ish minutes, 10, 15 minutes.
I'm just curious. Did you try to leave? Did you ask to leave? Why didn't you
We
leave?
did ask to leave and we were told no by Rollingwood PD.
It was too late. Yeah.
Do you recognize the person in the courtroom today who told you not to leave?
No, I do not.
Is that person present?
No.
Did they tell you why you couldn't leave?
It was getting towed and it was too late.
But the tow truck driver had not arrived?
No, they had not.
All right, let's hear it. Who's from Rollingwood? Mr. Jones?
Judge,
I
I'd
just
like
say right here, if that's true, that's flat out wrong. So do you have any information
Judge,
as to whether the tow truck driver had arrived and already had the car up?
right. Judge, I'd like to call Corporal Aaron Bruns. He should be here. Do you see him? Corporal Bruns?
Yes, Mr. Bruns, Corporal Bruns, are you with us?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good afternoon, sir. Were you here to be sworn in?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I understand you're under oath. Go ahead, Mr. Jones.
All right. Corporal Bruns, could you please tell the court what happened that day? Start from the beginning and tell us what happened.
We received a call about a vehicle blocking a resident's driveway.
Sure.
So
He was parked wrong. I got it.
yes, ma'am. So I went to that resident and spoke with them and asked them if that was their car. They said no, because they were not able to access their driveway.
Yeah.
Asked them if they would like the car towed. They said yes. I then instructed an officer with me to impound that vehicle. ATEX towing was called. They came to impound the vehicle.
Right. Are you the one who spoke to the plaintiff?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it correct the plaintiff says that he swore under oath that you told him he could not leave the car after it was ticketed?
He could not leave. He could not leave the car.
Yeah, no, he wanted to drive away with a vehicle. He says that you told him he had to stay and get towed.
No, I did not say that to him.
Do you recall if you told him he couldn't drive his vehicle away?
What I recall is after the tow truck had arrived.
Before the tow truck arrived. He
Right.
says, Mr. Hobbs just testified that he came back from walking away. He discovered that there was a car that he was being ticketed, that he took the ticket and then he tried to leave and the officer told him you can't leave. Are you that officer?
I am the officer he spoke with. I do not recall me telling him that he could not leave.
Mr. Hobbs, this is a very important part of your case. You said
Yes,
you didn't
ma'am.
recognize this person. Is Corporal Bruns the person you spoke to that day?
Yes, Your Honor. I didn't recognize him. He wasn't up on the Zoom screen on the side, so I couldn't see him.
All right. And Mr. Hobbs, is it your testimony that Corporal Bruns told you you could not leave, you could not drive away your vehicle and avoid being towed?
Yes, we asked if we could, and we were told no.
Corporal Bruns, how would you respond? He says that you told him he could not remove his vehicle and leave.
I'm confused. This is prior to the vehicle being prior to the tow company arriving. As I recall, nobody asked to leave the area at that time. I did
Corporal
explain
Bruns?
that it was being towed.
Y'all, let's get our timeline down. Corporal Bruns, is it accurate that you had a conversation or at least met the defendant, the plaintiff today, Mr. Hobbs, prior to the tow truck arriving?
Yes.
And you gave him a ticket prior to the tow truck arriving?
A ticket was issued while it was unattended.
Sure. Okay, so he got a ticket. Why didn't he get in his car and drive away? Why did the tow truck need to show up and tow him when you literally had the driver who could remove the vehicle and stop the problem right then and there?
I had already contacted the tow company.
I don't care. That's not the law. Why not let him get in his car and drive it away?
My understanding is that a vehicle can be towed for blocking the driveway.
100% it can. You were right to call the tow truck. The law says, though, that once the driver's returned, tow truck shouldn't be involved. Even if he'd shown up and the tow truck was lifting it up, he has the right to pay a drop fee and get his truck and not have to deal with the impounding of it. So my question is, if you're there, he's got a ticket, the situation can be averted. Why was he towed?
Yes, if I can explain that. My understanding is that the drop fee is in reference to, and those rights are associated with private property towing, not from a public street initiated by a police officer. And our towing is my understanding was governed by our contract with ATEX Towing, and my discretion. So the vehicle was impounded according to those rules.
All right. I don't find that to be true, sir. Corporal Bruns, I'm glad you helped out that homeowner. Certainly, Mr. Hobbs, pay more attention where you're parking. I find it hard to believe you didn't realize you were blocking a driveway in Rollingwood. Okay? Pay attention. There's nothing worse than having people block my driveway. But at the same time, he was there to move his car. He shouldn't have been towed. Judgment for the plaintiff. How much did you pay to get your car to tow, Mr. Hobbs?
$436.76.
All right. Judgment for the plaintiff, $436.77. Again, tow, he should have been towed. But since he showed up before the tow truck arrived, there's no difference. I don't see any distinction in the law between the public and the private street. Driver was there, whole thing could have been averted. right? All right, all parties can appeal that decision if you want, otherwise judgment for the plaintiff. All parties are excused. Y'all have a good afternoon. Don't park in spots like that. And every time you park, you have to pay attention, Mr. Hobbs. Especially in Travis County, all over the state of Texas, parking is changing constantly.
Yes,
All
Your
right.
Honor. I'm very
Thank
sorry.
you very much. Have a good afternoon, y'all.
Have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Hobbs. I'm
You as
sorry,
well.
Mr. Jones. Thank you. I counsel. And Corporal Bruins, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I can't imagine. Thank y'all. All right. All right. Ms. Chapman, are you here representing yourself?
I am, but I also have the witness who was actually driving the vehicle, my son, Andrew Cook.
Ah, all right. Good afternoon, Mr. Cook.
Good afternoon.
How about on behalf of the Man Shack or the Manchaca? I'll be curious. Who is representing the Man Shack today?
Towed.
Oh, you're here for that, sir. All right. Tell me your last name.
Montoya.
I'm just making sure. Mr. Montoya, you look different.
When I took my glasses.
Is that what it? I know. I'm sorry.
Yes, it is.
Well, good afternoon, sir. I hope your holiday season is all right.
I'm having to come back to just all of a sudden. I don't know what happened this month. Like 9 of them.
Tis a thing, tis a thing. All right. Well, good afternoon to you both. Thank you for your patience here. All right, Ms. Chapman, let me pull up some information here. Now, Ms. Chapman, if I understood what you told me in the introduction, you were not present at the time of the towing or the day that this event happened?
I was present after the vehicle was towed.
Okay, but Mr. Cook, you're the person who actually was in charge of the vehicle that evening.
Yes, I parked the vehicle around 6:30 p.m. and went to a adjacent venue. I did not believe when I parked it.
Stop
Okay.
right there. Stop right there. I already hear a bad idea in what I'm hearing. So let's give me, what date did this take place?
Friday, November the 21st.
Oh, God. I already hear fearful of this one. Did you park at the Man Shack and then walk next door to SABG or any of the other bars on that strip?
No, I parked specifically directly outside of this business, Tiger Lily Acupuncture and Wellness. However, I assume the entire lot governed by the Man Shack.
There's a question, Mr. Cook. Were you a patron of the Tiger Lily Acupuncture place?
No, it was closed.
So you parked, not as a customer, just in front of a closed business.
Correct.
Were you going to be frequenting anything within that establishment, in that location?
No.
So just parking there to be able to go to one of the other venues?
Correct.
All right. I'm curious, what venue was it?
I don't recall what.
Lulu's, which was for a rehearsal dinner for his sister.
We do not dispute that the parking was not proper. We dispute, however, the handling of the towing and how we were told to find our vehicle afterwards from the parking towing signs at the lot.
All right. So you were trying to go to Lulu's. They have the worst parking lot in the world because there are 5 bars sharing that little bitty space. I know. Y'all, I live in Shady Hollow. I am really familiar with the tow spaces over there. This is why I know Mr. Montoya, because I truly get a lot of tow cases from actually across the street, and he'll agree with me. Planet Fitness. That parking lot is just all night long. All night long. Because people want to park there and walk across the street to the Armadillo Den. Don't do it. Don't. No. Share that with friends because it's a lovely venue over there, all up and down, man. Right? Like all these places. But like, I think the biggest parking lot is the field behind the SABG. All right, but so you're there, Mr. Cook.
Yeah.
You park at Tiger Lily. You go. When you come back for your vehicle, has it already been towed?
Yes, it was not there.
Okay, car was towed.
Upon seeing, upon seeing that it was missing, I looked around for the towing signs. I had previously seen one at a adjacent parking lot, not at the one I saw, hence why I parked there, but I saw it and it had the phone number listed for ATX towing. The phone number told me to go to autoreturn.com, and up until the day we picked it up, the car never appeared on that website. So after 2 days of this and a few 311 and 911 calls, I filed a stolen vehicle report because I assumed that the signs at the lot I was towed notifying me that towing was being enforced would be proper in their notification methods. And so I assumed that, well, it's in our brief.
So go ahead. So you looked around, you found signage to tell you how to locate your car. The
Yes.
signage, the number or the information it gave you, you weren't able to locate your car that way?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it never appeared on that site and we both checked.
Okay. So then, Mr. Cook, you assumed that your car had been stolen and then filed a report for that?
Yes. And
Why did you come-
upon,
Oh, go ahead.
apologies for interruption, Your Honor. Whenever I received the notification mail, eventually, that was the first time we were notified that it had been towed and by ATX Towing, and that was on Tuesday, December the 1st, was when we received the letter. And once we went to,
Mr. Cook, who did you get a letter from?
ATX towing. It came to my house.
and once we went to pick up the vehicle,
Hold on, Mr. Cook.
yes,
So you found your car was missing. You found the signs about towing. None of the information on there helped you locate your car. You filed a missing police report. But the way you found your car was towed was because ATX actually reached out to you.
yes. And whenever we went to pick up the vehicle from the site, the specific site where it was towed to, we were told that that location never adds to the auto return website, which was what was notified to find out that our vehicle was towed at the signs on location.
All right. All right. But you got what you did go and get your car back?
Yes,
All right. How much did it cost you?
uh,
The additional fees that I paid over and above the towing fee, which we don't dispute, were $347.05.
You take any photos of the signage?
Yes. You want me to share it on Zoom? We did.
I was gonna ask, did you send that in to us?
I brought it in the day that I came to file for the hearing. I brought a packet in that had the history and the sign was in there, a copy of it.
I'm gonna share my screen.
It might also be worth knowing, he called 311 and 911 frequently, and they were unable to find the car as well.
All right. So this is the sign that was on site?
yes,
Towing enforced. If you leave the property, your vehicle will be towed. 512-400-8655.
yes.
And when you called that number, who'd you reach?
It leads to a robotic voice, which just tells you to go to autoreturn.com.
And what's the website?
Autoreturn.com. That's AUTORETURN.com.
All right. But that website didn't give you any information about your vehicle.
No,
And you found out when ATX said, hey, we have your car.
correct.
All right.
The primary reason for dispute is that that additional delay is what led to the additional $347 of charging for the storage fees notification fee.
I see. And on this one, it says storage fee was, tow was $275, storage fee was $274. So the total amount you spent, well, no, I see there's some extra storage fee. Because then there's a lien and an impound. So it was $347.05 for the storage. All right. Mr. Montoya,
Yes,
if I
ma'am.
call that phone number, does that take me to a recording?
Yes, ma'am. It does say hit one option. It gives them an option to be able to talk to a live representative. So I'm not sure if he didn't do it or did do it, but
I do
it,
not recall that, Your Honor.
The phone does, though, tell them they can go to a website.
yes, ma'am. But that website, that auto return is for Austin police only. So that's only in the city of Austin. That
Does the
district,
recording say that?
does the recording say that?
Yeah.
No, I mean, it didn't, because it's scripted, so it doesn't say, oh, hey, if you're looking for your car in the city of Austin, it says auto
So-
return.
I would, any reasonable person who's been towed and calls the number and here's go to auto
Yeah,
return.
you can hit one and you're gonna get a live representative. It tells you right when you.
Mr. Montoya, I
Huh.
get that, right? But he didn't press the live button. Let's say it's 3 in the morning. I want to find out where my car is towed.
It was 8 o'clock.
Well, the recording specifically says I can go to autoreturn.com and look for my car. Is that correct?
Yes, Ms. Holmes, it has it on there.
Okay. And then if he went to the website, it would not have shown his car because that's only for APD vehicles.
Correct.
All right. So the recording's not very helpful then. So the question is here, is it reasonable for Mr. Cook to have not attempted to make someone in person and just rely on the website based on the recording?
Correct. My number and the number on the sign, you can easily go on the internet, look for 512-400-8655. It directly goes to my office. I mean, you can literally, who wouldn't know if your car's getting towed, who would not go and say, oh, hey, there's a tow sign. Should I go to the towing company and find out if
Mr.
it's towed?
Montoya, you and I both know that people do not behave reasonably in any number of situations. Correct. I'm not disagreeing entirely. I'm pointing out that what seems reasonable to some is just not. I constantly am amazed at the way people come in and say, oh, no one told me. And I'm like, did you hear the guy in the first case? It's literally marked. Mr. Cook admitted he knew he was parking wrong. He's not disputing the tow. He's concerned about the storage fee, right? All right. I don't know, y'all. That's a particular one. Right?
I think that I would add neither me nor Andrew remember there being the option for a live person. And second, we live
Yeah.
So we live 4 miles.
He's calling.
Your Honor.
If you know your party's extension, press 1. I don't know.
Your Honor, may I make a statement on that? I did not read the if you know your car's extension, press 1 as speak to a live representative. To me, that was, I assumed that ATX Towing or someone else had assigned my car an extension, not if I say know my car's license plate or otherwise. Therefore, I did not read that statement as a speak to a live representative. I read it as I required other information I didn't have. Therefore, I trusted what the robotic voice said. And the voice never specifically said you may speak to a representative.
I don't know that it needs to, Mr. Cook. That's what I'm checking, right? The statute doesn't require that the tow company jump through all that many hoops to notify you that you've been towed, simply that they make it reasonably obvious for you to discover it. I mean, you admitted that you parked in a spot where you knew you should not have been parking, that had towing signs, and they enforced it. So it wasn't all that shocking. The situation is that you only followed one method of trying to find your car and not another one that Mr. Montoya is saying could have been done. I don't know if that is sufficient for you to not be able to have to pay the storage fee, right? I'm looking.
I understand.
Statute doesn't require a whole lot of notice. It requires the signs be a specific way, but there's not a whole lot is after the sign is there, what more needs to be done by the tow company. Mr. Montoya, were you trying to?
So our auto return is through Travis County. I submitted that that information to you as well. But there's the page that we have to go on to that's always, I mean, I've been using this private property through the Travis County Sheriff's Department for the over 7 years that we've had this property. And all we do is submit it. And there's
I got it. I already found an answer, y'all. It's in the statute. Unfortunately, Mr. Cook, the law says that what they did is sufficient and reasonable, and that you would not get anything for them for the additional storage fee. And here's why. Here is the statute. I'm looking at it in the occupations code, right? What is actually required? The landlord for a non-consent tow must give you notice that it can be towed. They need to have compliant signs. Those signs are sufficient. I know what they look like. The owner receives actual notice that it will be towed if it's not been removed. Here, you didn't need that because the signs gave you that actual notice. Parking facility owner attaches a notice to the windshield and sends it by certified mail, which they did, and that's how you found out about it. I don't see that there's anything additionally beyond that. So for those reasons today, Mr. Cook, I'm going to say that the tow consent was proper and the sign notification sufficiently satisfies the state law. You do have a chance. You can appeal that decision, just as in the first case, the tow company or PD can appeal. You have 10 days to appeal. There is no bond on that. Okay.
One statement, not to dispute your ruling, Your Honor, but just as a note that our contention, we were never certain if this was directly against the law. However, we believe it is at least immoral per se, that may be a bit of a strong term, where the signage directs you, where, as Mr. Montoya admitted, only works for Travis County, yet the service site of ATX Towing, which tows that specific lot, does not tow for Travis County. Like, therefore, the signage for Austin.
Yeah,
Therefore,
Austin PD is a different thing because ATX Towing does for everything else in the county. Like they get called for DPS and sheriffs and what's up.
Yes.
So I don't disagree, but it's not illegal. That's just one of those like you're getting 75% and you were hoping for 90. I'd say is that would be maybe write a letter. I know this sounds old and trite, but it's true, y'all. Write a letter to your state rep. Honestly, your state rep right now is probably running for higher office and would love to have some sort of a consumer issue to go and talk about, right? But what has been provided by Mr. Montoya's company is sufficient for the law, okay? All right, good luck. Mr. Cook, be real careful over there. I'm not joking. That's a good area. I'm glad they're developing it, but look behind where Drifters is. There's a parking lot at an old house, and that's all free parking over there. And they have a shuttle, so if you want to go someplace else, they'll take you free of charge. I get a lot of these cases from that area, y'all.
So you know, I've been in this area for the longest time. I'm basically the only one that tows from there in that area.
Which I get so many. Again, I see all sides of this, y'all, but I'm following what the statute says here. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yes, ma'am.
right.
Thank
Good
you.
luck to y'all both. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
All parties are excused. Have a good afternoon.